What a dumper.
Okay, Beautiful Bizarre Magazine. Who are they? If you're not familiar with them, it's a contemporary art publication with a pretty sizable social media following. They print a gorgeous physical magazine quarterly. And from the beginning, they've been huge supporters of artists like me who don't really fit into the conventional, traditional art scene per se. You could call it lowbrow, pop surrealism, underground art, whatever. It covers every conceivable medium. And it's basically just a big laundry bag of cultural influences like, graffiti, comic books, fashion, tattoos, punk music, or in my case, films of the 20s, 30s, and 40s. Really, any branch of media in the last 100 years probably has some DNA in this genre. And it's truly a populist art movement. It's got massive appeal because it's just so hyper saturated in pop culture. But it's still a very new chapter as far as art movements go. And it started on the West Coast in the late 60s, which is barely a notch on the timeline. It's a zygote on the sonar of art history. And it's the same story, right? A lot of establishment art galleries sort of refuse to recognize it. It's just too new. I guess it probably takes about 100 years for anything new to sort of begin to be venerated and accepted by the old guard. Not that it needs to be, I suppose, but I think it should be. So all this to say that magazines like Hi-Fructose, Juxtapose, and Beautiful Bizarre, and now more and more like the online social media accounts like Wicked Eye Candy and Think Space Art, they've been real champions for all of us working in this form. Go look at their Instagram. It's like Astro Boy meets Run DMC at Moulin Rouge having a Willy Wonka parfait. It's on the darker, twisty side. Don't expect a still life of a fruit bowl.
Oh, heavens, no, it's too dark. I like to see something gay in the morning, don't you?
So why am I telling you this? Well, the last few years, I've been asked by Beautiful Bizarre to take part in a series of themed group shows. What is that? Well, they come up with a subject or a phrase, and they carefully curate a group of artists that they think could illustrate that idea in an interesting way. So for example, I did one in New York at Haven Gallery. The theme was ritual. I did a piece for Urban Nation Museum in Germany. The theme for that was Gaia Reborn. And then just a few months ago, I did one in San Francisco at Modern Eden Gallery, and the theme was Halcyon Days. And it's fun, right? At the end, you get to see all these creative variations on a theme. Okay, so since you asked, the next one is opening in 2 weeks, March 11th, 2023, at Corey Helford Gallery in Los Angeles. And the theme is Secret Longings. You should do stand-up. Okay, so here's what I like about doing these shows with Beautiful Bizarre. First of all, they pick big round themes that usually fall sort of within the kind of party that my girls would feel right at home at. And second, I kind of think of it as writing my own Twilight Zone episode. It's fun. And they're also just a nice group of people to deal with, which is, that helps. Okay, so Secret Longings. Here's what I imagined. A nurse with clearly a lot on her mind and a hunk in a coma covered in body bandages. His hunk status is plainly indicated by the Jake Ryan hairdo. Take a moment. Dark eyebrows. There's some tension in this scene, but you don't get to know the nature of the tension, whether it's angry or sexual and so on. All you need to know is something weird and neurotic is about to play out, y'all. It's called The Wounded Healer. And I wanted the viewer to wonder who that was. Who's the wounded healer? Is it the nurse who's smoking in the ER, looking at a coma victim with an emotionally damaged look on her face? Or is that maybe a doctor on the gurney who's been in a suspicious accident?
It's high drama.
So I thought it should look like one of those trashy dime store novels from the 40s, like Dr. Prescott's Secret, The Barn. What does this white woman want of me? Shadows of Shame. Rock and Roll Gal. The sizzling story of real gone guys and dolls on dope. Junkie. My mother was a lesbian. Waltz into Darkness. Dope Island.
Show me the way.
So if you happen to be in LA on Saturday, March 11th, come to the opening. 7 p.m., Corey Helford Gallery. It's a great party. Take a peep at all our little Twilight Zone episodes. It's what the kids are calling a binge-worthy.
In this season of
Secret Longings.